How are we doing, everyone? Andre Pillow, Director of Instruction here at Blythefield Country Club and founder of DNA Golf Instruction. I had a client the other day that was having a simple struggle, and I used a simple device to fix it. And another one of my clients mentioned that they saw something similar on the Golf Channel. So I wanted to talk about some simple ways that I use a 2x4 to help you with your full swing, your chipping, and also with your putting. So with my client the other day, we'll start with some of these full swing things. He was really struggling with his balance. And I love working with the 2x4 to help people understand balance. Of course, in the golf swing, we have a lot of parts moving, and we do want to load and we want to unload, and we want all of our energy to get down the line. But a lot of times, if we have bad balance, reverse pivot where our weight's forward, and we're swinging and our weight's actually going back as our momentum's going forward. We don't see that in other sports, and we don't want to see it in golf either. We want all that energy to work together to get through the ball and get through a finish position. So I had my client practice starting his golf swing by standing on a 2x4. Okay? So I had him stand on it, and we worked on the first part of the golf swing, staying connected and developing a one-piece takeaway. Developing this feel of being able to move the club, the arms, and the shoulders back as one piece and being very stable. Okay? If I can get you here fairly stable, we have a lot more room for error at the top of our swing, and you're more apt to get back to the ball square and be able to get all that energy working together through the shot. Okay? Once again, when we have a lot of weight moving, a lot of action in our lower body, it puts a lot of pressure on our lever system to either catch up, flip, overcompensate for what we're doing down there, and it makes our result fairly inconsistent. So using a simple 2x4 and standing on it, I prefer either the balls of the feet or sort of the middle of your feet, and working on taking half swings. And if you get comfortable with that, can you take it all the way up to the top and all the way through and maintain your balance? Okay, so that's one simple way that I use it. Another way, if you look at this black line here, if I set this parallel to my target line and pull over a golf ball, this is a good way to identify if you have a square club face or not. Putting my golf ball inside of it and addressing it, I want to make sure that this line that the sole of my club makes matches up with the line that is going, the black line there, and is perpendicular to our 2x4. So if I place the ball there, my grooves are all going to be square down the line, and this is ensuring that I'm going to have a square club face at address, and it also helped me understand what a square club face at impact is. So that's a very simple way to work on that. Okay? So those are two very, very simple ways to kind of use this in full swing with your setup. A third way that I use a 2x4 for full swing has to do with that takeaway again, but placing it in a position right behind the golf ball. You know, as a believer in a one-piece takeaway and staying connected, if I take my address position and my setup and I practice pushing the 2x4 back, okay, what that eliminates is all the roll out of the hand, the club getting out here with a lot of wrist hinge. We're staying very connected, almost like you've heard me say before, like we're imagining our hands being here and not having a lot of wrist action, and all of this moving as one piece. You've seen something similar to the 2x4 pushback that I've done with a golf ball before. I'm a firm believer in this. That drill is very similar to this, where we take our setup and we practice pushing the ball back and swinging through the shot. Okay? It's the same principle, but the 2x4 is a little bit heavier. So it forces you to have a little more integrity and, not the ability to use those wrists as much, and it helps you really develop the feel. So those are three different ways where you can use that 2x4 for full swing. Standing on it for balance, putting the tape on the top and making sure your club face is square, or putting it behind you, especially when we're indoors, and working on pushing it straight back and staying connected. Okay? Now, what about the putter? Very similar to what we did with our full swing setup, we can use this to help us maintain a square club face at address. So we'll pay attention to that line again, place our golf ball in front, and we will take our address position, okay? Now, once again, that club face, the face of it should be square and should match that line perpendicular to the board. And another thing that I'll do in this instance sometimes is bring my alignment stick on for the inner track here to give me my parallel lines so I can work on maintaining a good stroke back and through. Now, with my putter, I can actually sit here, get the right address position, and work on hitting putts back and through and maintaining that stroke, and sit here for hours and hours working on that with that 2x4 there as a reference point. Now, the good thing about this, you can do it either way. If I wanted to have this more on the inside part, and I would tell you to go based on your preference, your feel, and what's working best with you. But I can do the same thing with the 2x4 on the inner part of the heel and square everything up and work my club back and through, okay? I don't want you to think in terms of perfection with this, but this is giving you guidance and it's helping you to control your stroke, which is going to do what? It's going to make you more consistent and help you to get more putts down the line. And that's the thing that we're all after. We just want to have better results and a better opportunity to get some of those results. So that's a very, very simple way to use that 2x4 once again for alignment and those things. Last but not least, and this is uber simple and something that I do with my clients a lot in the off season, indoors, making things fun, making games. I put little 2x4s in front of them and have them work on their chip shots. And a couple ways to do that. We'll get this alignment stick out of the way. But obviously with a chip shot, we want the ball to do what? Hop up a little bit and then roll out. So to help with that, especially for those young golfers and really all of us, this is something that reinforces what I need to do with a chip shot as well. I want to make sure that however long or however short, that the ball hops up and it rolls out, okay? You can even make it a little tougher if you want and make it the higher side there and keep practicing the same way. Just working on chipping, hands leading, head staying down, club face staying below your hands as you work through your chip shots. But that's another very, very easy way to use a 2x4, okay? So think about the things you have in your house that you can use for alignment. I use everything from soccer balls, footballs. I have my mic stand back there that you hear me talk about quite a bit. That's kind of like my best friend for teaching. And I just use my imagination thinking about what I'm working on and what tools I may have around the house that might be able to help me. So hopefully that helps you in the off season. And remember, this is where we get better for 2021, right now. Right now. I don't care if you're in a place where you can still play golf. You got an advantage over the rest of us. But for those of us that don't have the good weather, we'll be seeing snow soon. That doesn't mean that you can quit. You have a garage, you have a basement, you have somewhere where you can get some swings in or at least hit some putts and keep that golf mind working. Okay? So look for more videos from me this off season. Continue to work on your game. We have a lot of holiday specials, so please check us out on DNAGolfInstruction.com, and thanks for watching.
So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Black superhero, ride for my Negroes.